I'd like to give the words to Augustina Pasheva from Voivoda Ventures. Applause for her.
Okay guys, actually I'm sorry, but you have to wait another 5 minutes. We decided to provide you with some feedback. It's a general feedback from the judges in terms of the presentations, in terms of the ideas, and let's start with... Yes.
Hi guys. Okay, we had a great 54 hours, right? Yeah. Okay, let's hear it again. Woo. I'm not the guy who will judge you with all the things here. Yeah, only God will do that. Okay, no, I'm joking. I know you haven't get much sleep. I know many of you haven't get any shower. No, it's not smelling.
How can you tell?
Okay, yeah. I'm just guessing, right? It was really great. I know many of you put a lot of passion in that. We see here a lot of great things. We need to give you some feedback here, and then we have. It's really hard for me to keep that secret because I know the winners. I know all of them, but it's really hard for me to keep it. But I have to. Okay, I'll give the word to I think Agustina, or I don't know who is responsible to give us some feedback. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about presentation skills. Some of you did awesome job. Some of you, like my general feedback is, please don't turn your back to the audience. Please speak loud enough so we can hear you. Also, I know you're focused more on the product building or service building and the coding part, but don't forget that actually the judges, including myself, we didn't spend 2 days with you, so we're determining and basing our judgment based on the presentation. So if your presentation is not well prepared and you haven't prepared enough for it, that doesn't reflect the real result and the efforts you have put during those actually 54 days, so 2.5 days. So that's one thing. The other thing is, please show some passion while you're talking. With some guys, they were speaking a little bit lower, in a lower voice, which in general creates a little bit of distraction. The other thing is, I noticed some people are talking at the back. In general, I would say that if you want to do some networking, just do it in a very, very low voice, so you're actually not interrupting and making the people who are presenting uncomfortable. So that's pretty much for me, and we're going to continue with Christo.
Hey guys, I'm gonna give you some feedback about giving feedback and receiving feedback. So actually, I decided to expand a little this area and kind of just give you some general guidance on how to optimize the use of the 3 minutes you get after your pitch. These 3 minutes are very important, even more important than the presentation itself in many cases. So first, about the feedback you get, never respond. It's not a question, it's feedback. The only thing you do with feedback is you just accept the feedback, and that's it. It might be the stupidest thing. You might be really itching to respond and say, this is not true, I have the answer. The answer to what? The answer to the feedback. It's feedback, it's not a question. You don't need to answer to my feedback. And I'm not talking about myself. In general, you will go to many other similar events. Judges will be asking you questions, respond to those questions. They will be giving you feedback, never respond to feedback. So this is the easier part, how you handle feedback. Then if you're not clear about what the feedback is actually telling you, you can say, elaborate please, and you will get some more feedback, but that's about it. Never respond to feedback. The second thing is, when you get a question, do not convince the judges in your point, only answer the question. Because convincing somebody will take you on average 3 to 5 minutes, and you have 3 minutes only. So you can maybe convince the judges in the first question they ask you. You take all the 3 minutes to convince them you're right. The judges don't need to be convinced. They only need your response. So, did you do this? No. Thank you. Did you do this? Yes. Did you think about this? Yes? No. Maybe just a little more information. But if you spend 2 minutes of your 3 minutes just convincing the judges about something, you're just not making the best use. If we have a 1 hour mentoring session, then we can talk in detail. But you have only 3 minutes. Accept feedback, answer the questions very short, and do not try to convince people, just answer the question. So this is my feedback about receiving feedback and optimizing those 3 minutes.
Okay, hi. First of all, it was really impressive. I was really impressed with a lot of the people there. But what I wanted to talk about is cloning, or sort of building on an idea that somebody already had built. There was quite a lot of businesses here that was like building on this. I said, if you're going to clone something, or if you're going to replicate another business model, you've either got to do it better, right? Or have the absolute best execution, which means that your team has to be able to say, we can do this, and that's how you win it. I mean, there's amazing examples of how cloned businesses are better than the original, how they changed it and how they perform this stuff. So if you're going this, don't try to clone something and then take all the worst parts from the thing you're cloning, and then make it even worse than what it is, and then going for a much smaller market. I mean, we're looking at something that's supposed to go even bigger. It's bigger, better or faster or even better than this. And I think there's a lot of other feedback that's going to come about understanding the competitors and looking at who they are. You've really got to know who's out there, what you're looking at, where in the marketplace you are, where in the matrix you fit into with regards to, are you going to be this kind of part of it, what are your USPs, how much are you going to do this more. So I think we'd love to see that in the next one. I mean, it's been really amazing to see this. So who's next?
So first of all, congratulations to everyone. And when you go home, if you didn't win, don't be disheartened. First event where I was coaching over 2 years ago, the only companies still existing today were not the winners. They were the 4th and 8th. What I want to talk to you about is first of all, the passion. And in this room, I've sensed more passion than I've ever seen in Varna. And for that, I'm very, very happy, and you need to be very, very grateful that you have peers that can help you grow. We talked about valuations, and you've taken some very creative ways of evaluating the market. We heard millions, we heard billions, and we heard trillions. That's good. And then we asked how much money you're actually going to need. And I think the biggest sum that we heard was 50,000 lev. It's okay. That's going to get you started. Sure. There were a couple of ideas that on this particular money part, on my opinion, technical execution, it's a multi-million euro thing to make it happen. And if you tell to me with a straight face that it's 50,000 lev, it's not very believable. And the other problem there is that you're pitching a startup idea. What you need to do, you need to make people excited about the idea. They need to be so excited that they want to invest any money they have on your idea. And what's the basic requirement to get to that? You need to think big. Because if you see like the last presentation, I think it's a great e-commerce potential. But it's very hard to see it going big. It's very hard to do Google with that. It's very hard to invest €1 and get 150 euros back. But that initial ambition of how big you're going to be is going to be your most important tool when you convince team members to join, when you convince someone to put money. So don't be afraid to think big. You have a potential, but you need to see it first yourself. That's it.
So the first thing first, congratulations to everyone in this room. Great jobs during the weekend. So I'm gonna give you feedback about understanding what you're doing. It's really important to know what pain exactly your product or your service gonna resolve. In each of presentation, each of the things mentioned, yes, we did lot of research, we did market research, we did these things, we did these things. Actually, during the feedback from jury, almost all of the teams don't have idea about customers, market, competitors. So when you said, yes, we did this, this, and this, you should did exactly this stuff. And when you did some kind of research or questionnaire, you should ask your potential customers not about the stuff and the things that you expect to hear from them, but the real question that's gonna answer you as a founder, as a part of the team member. Is this the real pain of the customers? Is this the real pain for the, or just something imagine in my head? So this is really important to ask your customers. And this is gonna help you to understand what you're gonna do in the future and all this stuff. That it's really important for your project. So when you said, I'm gonna do research, just go and do research. Just gonna check which other company that's going the same stuff or almost the same stuff, and see what they do, what they did, what they achieved, how fast, all this stuff. Just think about all these things before start building your project or building your product. That's it.
Okay, and without any further ado, because I'm quite sure that you want to hear who wins, so we're going to start actually in the reverse order, starting from the third place. And the third place goes to Wunderchild. Congratulations.
Can you come on the stage, please? So guys, just one group picture, please.